Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. After approximately 20 minutes of discussion and the answering of questions by one local resident, the City of Sulphur Springs City Council approved on second reading a street maintenance fee ordinance that will add additional funds to the street paving project and sets up a separate designated account for the funds. Sulphur Springs City Council met in regular session Tuesday evening in council chambers. The street maintenance fee ordinance was not the only item on the agenda, but did consume more time than any other subject. The fees set by the council to be applied to the water bills in the city will be $5 for residential, $5 for multifamily, $12.50 for commercial, and $30 for industrial. The original motion for approval would have contained lower fees for multifamily and industrial. However, a substitute motion that would increase fees to $10 for residential and multifamily was defeated 2-4 by a vote of the council. The fees set were a second amendment to the original motion. They passed 5-2 with Jimmy Lucas, who wanted to retain the original fee scale, and Doug Moore, who had offered the First Amendment for a higher fee, voting against the motion, the amendment. Voting on the motion as amended, the council again voted 5-2. During conversation, a local citizen asked several questions regarding the designation of funds and the manner in which accountability would be made for the use of the fees. The ordinance does call for a designated account for the fees to be deposited to, with the fees used only for purchase of material and to pay for work performed. It was also noted that the council could revise the ordinance and change fee scales and rates at any time. In other action, the council unanimously approved the second reading of an ordinance expanding the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city to include the property once used by the mining operation Luminant. The property is being given to the city by Luminant. The council approved the first reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances for the city, updating the building codes, electrical code, and property maintenance code. The city council revisits the codes every 3 years to update. Revisiting the adoption of the tax abatement rebate policy first considered in the November regular session, council determined to not set a specific policy, but to allow negotiations with each prospective industry and business that would seek tax abatement for rebates on taxes. Industries considering a prospective location often seek the abatements or rebates based on the number of people they will employ and other considerations. City Manager Mark Maxwell noted that rebates are often better than abatements. He said rebates cause the industry to provide needed accountability in a more timely manner. He said each industry or business should be considered based on what they bring to the city. The city will abate the burned-out house at 917 Church Street. The property was deemed dangerous. The vacated building has been a concern for residents neighboring the property. The city will place a lien on the property to recover costs of demolition. A public hearing will be conducted January 8th and 9th, 2019 regarding the annexation of Pioneer Business Park and Heritage Business Park and certain adjacent parcels to both. Prior to setting the public hearings, the council voted to not propose to annex any property or territory that is required to offer a developmental agreement. City Manager Mark Maxwell was authorized as the signatory for documents regarding the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality Water Rights permit application. The act will allow the manager to move forward with documents that allow the city to receive the Luminant property, which contains approximately 20 ponds and lakes on the property. The council also voted to move their January regular session from January 1st to January 8th, 2019. Numerous toys, 80 bicycles, and $16,211 were collected in the two-day Blue Santa Toy Drive, sponsored by local businesses, industry, charitable organizations, law enforcement, and media. Volunteers accepted toys and donations from drive-ups, while others cooked and served barbecue sack lunches and street tacos on Lowe's parking lot December 3rd and 4th. Donations may also be made to Blue Santa during Monday, December 10th, Christmas Parade, starting at 7 p.m. from Buford Park, down Conley Street to Celebration Plaza to Church Street to Houston Street to Prim Stadium. Just give the toy to any volunteer in the parade.
Another fascinating visit from some of the Treehouse students, that is the Treehouse Christian Homeschool located at Yantis. These students are working on current events, also taking a digital storytelling class, and their creative writing class, which is called The Right Stuff, taught by teacher Sharon Felt. Let's meet these students.
We're going to be talking with Presley, Phil, and Casey this morning. And you are all in a writing class, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is called, what is it called?
Young Publishers.
Oh, that's right, because you are all young publishers. You are published writers, every one of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. And anyone who would like to answer my question first will you just start talking. When did you start writing?
So,
Casey.
me and my family, we used to take road trips around the United States, and we usually take one every year. And so, me and my brother and my little sister, we write in our journals about in the events we've encountered and what we see. And for the past 2 years, I've been taking wonderful Miss Sharon's writing class, and she has really helped me expand my genres that I can write in and help me be more creative with my writing.
Okay, so before, when you were writing journals with your sister?
My younger brother and my younger sister.
Okay. You didn't really have any instruction in it. You were just doing it.
No, and I look back at the journals today, and they're all crazy. The words are written down like this.
But you had an interest in writing even back then?
Yes.
Okay, well, I think you are well on your way to being a writer. In fact, you are a writer. What about you, Phil? When did you start writing?
I started writing when I was 7 or 8. It was a poem about friendship, and at some point it included stinky armpits to some friendships.
Okay. Stinky Armpits is a poem, right?
Yes.
And it is in a book.
No, ma'am.
No? Oh, it's not in the anthology.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Well, we will talk about Stinky Armpits. Hopefully we'll have time. And Presley, when did you start writing?
When I was 4, I would write in my diary. I love to write about horses. In the past 2 years, I've been with Miss Sharon, learning to expand my vocabulary and write better.
Okay. Well, so you 3 and other students are in the class called, creative writing class. Is that right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
The Right Stuff. And so, are you like almost at the end of a semester right now?
Yes, we will take Christmas off, and then we'll start up again in January.
Okay. All of you are homeschool students at home.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And then how does the treehouse fit into that?
So at home, I do my math, and I do some grammar things. At the treehouse, I take pieces of the globe, the right stuff, and I also take STEAM.
Okay. STEAM is very popular right now and very helpful.
Yes.
Different subjects in there. Okay, so let's go back on our creative writing class called The Right Stuff. Let me ask you some more things about that. And I'll ask Phil, what is your favorite genre to write in?
Mysteries, because you just never know what's going to happen. And when you get to a part that you've been wanting to know, there's always something else that happens at that part.
Okay, so that's mentally challenging for you. What about you, Presley?
My favorite genre is poetry because I feel like I can express my emotions.
Okay. And Casey, I know you had some written pieces in the anthology. When we mentioned the anthology, that's your first one that was
Yes.
published early this year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have some work in there?
Yes, I had 7 or 8 pieces. My favorite one were my poetry and my mystery, and I also liked my nonfiction piece about Chinese New Year.
Well, tell us a bit about Chinese New Year, or your writing about that.
So Chinese New Year is a holiday that the Chinese celebrate every year. So during Chinese New Year, you wear new clothes. In the days before Chinese New Year, you want to prepare the food, because if you use a knife on Chinese New Year, you're cutting away good wishes and hope.
Okay.
If you sweep your house during Chinese New Year, you are sweeping away your good luck for the new year. You will receive the children, and the parents' elders will receive little envelopes. They're red, and they have money and sometimes a fortune inside of them. and they're given out to friends and family.
Very interesting. And so we'll talk more about the anthology, and when you get more of these printed, people can still buy them. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. That's very good news for those who haven't gotten a hold of theirs yet. Okay, so another anthology will be published this year, I understand.
Yes, ma'am.
So can anyone tell me something about how it will be different from last year?
It will be bigger and in color this year.
Okay. So now you're writing things in your creative writing class called The Right Stuff. You're writing things that will be in the anthology, so such as what types of things are you now writing?
We're
Presley?
writing, for Christmas, we are writing jingles and Christmas wishes.
Okay.
And before, we've been writing current events, so we research an event that's going on currently and we write about it.
Okay. What can anybody tell me about one of your current event subjects that you've written on?
I wrote about the trash crisis in the world and how many countries have banned plastic bags, and the U.S. is the only one that hasn't, besides California, who banned them in 2014. But Jamaica, which we think of as a paradise, actually has a huge trash crisis right now. And when you dive into those beautiful blue waters, now there, instead of the nice, beautiful sand at the bottom, you see that brown silt. And there's plastic flowing everywhere, and it's killing the fish. But they are they're talking about banning plastic bags, plastic straws, and styrofoam. So that will really cut down on the plastic there.
It is sad to think about the harm that these do maybe to animals and fish and wildlife, but gosh, that's so much a part of our life.
Yes.
It's hard to think about doing without
Yes.
your Walmart bag that you put things in. Phil, I want to ask you some things. I know you students now are embarking on a digital storytelling class, and so what is that, and how does that support your writing?
I'm actually not going, but Presley is.
Okay.
Well, it helps us in putting illustrations and using technology to express our writing better.
Okay. What about animation or comic strips?
We have this online deal, and we do comic strips, and we have picked a subject that we are writing about, and I have picked to stop child labor and child abuse.
Okay. So, of course, the animation or the comic strips can't go in the anthology, but the written pieces
Yes,
will
ma'am.
be selected
Yes,
for that next when it comes out next year that's bigger and in color. So what about some outside activities that your class, young publishers,
Yes.
are doing?
So we've been listening to several historians and writers talk about how they have taken real events and real characters and turned them into fiction pieces. And we also recently talked to a very nice man who was talking about the scenes from True Grit and how they were filmed and how they were filmed in a real place. So that was very interesting. I am also part of a fine arts co-op, and there we read the Shakespeare plays. And so we just finished Much Ado About Nothing, and I think that really helps me with my writing because, getting to read different styles of literature is very good for writing.
Okay. That is pretty deep. Pretty deep for a 12-year-old? Are you 12?
I'll be 12 in March.
Okay. And how old are you, Phil?
I'm 13. I'll be 14 in 10 days.
Well, all right. Happy birthday ahead of time. And Presley, how old are you?
I'm 11, and I will be 12 on January 24th.
Okay, everybody's got birthdays coming up. Well, your experience so far may have been able to help you give some advice to others. So I'm going to ask each of you a question. What piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to be a writer and wants to become published? Presley?
Never give up, read good literature, and it's always okay to ask for help.
Okay. Phil?
I would say when you think your writing is perfect, have someone look over it and take the constructive criticism.
Okay. Casey?
Read a lot. So read very good books and from famous writers and use their styles to develop your own. And so that's helped me with my writing journey. And yes, never give up when someone is editing. And, always write about events that are passionate to you.
Good advice. Good advice on all that. Well, your creative arts writing teacher is with us this morning, Sharon Felt. She's sort of staying in the background this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
I think you are all appreciative to what she's been bringing to you in the last year or two.
Yes, ma'am.
Very much so.
Okay, good. I want to also ask you, this being holiday time, if anyone has something that you'd like to say to our listening audience or kind of bring them into your wishes to the world.
So first, I just want to thank KSST for their wonderful support that they have given us and to help spread the word about our new anthology and our old one and the right stuff. And thank you for the people that were listening today. And so please bless them through this holiday season.
Thank you, Casey.
We wish you Merry Christmas from the Treehouse to all.
Okay. Thank you, Phil. I know you have a lot of creativity going on in that mind. If I had given you a few more minutes, you'd probably written a long poem about it. Thank you. And Presley?
We worked hard to make presents, gifts, and more, so come see us from 2 to 4.
That brings us to one more point that we nearly left out, the math store.
Yes, ma'am.
When and where can we find this math store?
So it's going to be at the Yannis Cafe.
Saturday.
Yes, Saturday. So I will be selling homemade goat's milk lotion from We Milk Our Goats Daily, and it's all organic goat's milk lotion. And Presley, you're going to be selling?
I'm going to be selling butters and some banners in these cute little bottles that have like reindeer.
Her butter is really good.
Okay. From cows?
I make homemade butters.
Okay. Wonderful. I can't wait. And I think someone else said custom-made signs and all kinds of things.
Yes, there'll be blanket ladders, custom-made signs, and many other great gift items.
Okay. It is a fundraising event called The Math Store at the Yantis Cafe, I think from noon to 4 this Saturday. I think those are the hours, but it is this Saturday. All kinds of handmade gifts and more to benefit the Treehouse Christian Homeschool.
Yes, and some kids are giving their money that they make to charity.
Okay.
So I'm giving mine for International, my profit, after I subtract my startup costs.
Okay. All right. Good business ethics there. Thank you all for coming in, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. And please come back in the new year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
The number 8 ranked Wildcats basketball team used a strong fourth quarter to separate from Dallas Woodrow Wilson in an 84-70 win in Wildcats Gym on Tuesday night. The Wildcats improved to 8-2 for the season. After the win, I talked with Wildcats basketball coach Clark Cipolletta. We just kind of finally blew it open there in the fourth quarter, but man, they just kept on coming, didn't they?
Yeah, they wouldn't go away, would they? I was hoping they would, and man, that's a tough team. They hit shots. They're so big inside, so you try to do such a good job of really making it hard for those guys and kind of double teaming the post all night, and they made us pay. Just over the course of time, I think we just kind of wore them out. With some of the different coverages we were trying to throw at them. But hats off to them, and they're a really good team. They're going to go really far this year. Hope we don't have to meet them again in the playoffs. I hope they'll take a different route. But no, I was proud of the guys. They fought all game.
You would be the one to know. I don't know that Day Hall has ever had a game like this. He had 36 points tonight.
No, he hasn't.
He's a couple of threes.
I know. And the crazy thing is he can shoot it a little bit, especially when his confidence level is high. He got a couple of big rebounds and just some putbacks, and I thought he just did a very good job of just really picking up the load for us.
I would imagine he had a double-double. His rebounding was fabulous.
No doubt. Yeah, he had a double-double for sure. I bet he had close to 15, 16 rebounds, and And the good thing for him is he's just so undersized, and those guys just made it tough, and he went at them. So I was very proud of him for sure.
You always like those guys that great stories off the bench. How about Deuce Berry tonight?
How cool was that? Deuce is a kid who's a senior who just loves hoops. Now, in practice, this is the crazy thing. The last 2 days in practice, he didn't miss a shot. I said, Deuce, if you keep shooting like this, you could have forced me to play you, dude. And he literally, yesterday and today, even today in warm-ups, man, just didn't miss. I said, Deuce, you're playing tonight, baby. I said, this is your opportunity, make the most of it, and he did a great job. Had 9 points in the fourth quarter. That really helped us open it up. I thought when they went on a run, he hit 2 dagger threes back-to-back that just basically took the air out of the ball for them. So I was super proud of him.
We officially renamed him from Deuce to Trey after those three.
Trey Berry, I have to tell him that. That's pretty cool because, he definitely deserves that nickname tonight.
And Keyston Willis, ho-hum, 20 points tonight.
20, yeah, just an easy 20. And I thought they did a good job of trying to make it tough for him. And actually, if you look at the score book, you would think this was probably his worst game he's played. But to me, I thought this was probably his first or second best game he's played because he was able to make the right reads at the right time. He had a lot of assists early on. He just took what the defense gave him. And we really looked at some stuff this weekend and tried to reconfigure some stuff when they take him away. How can you still be effective? And, man, he answered tonight. Really helped his guys get into spots that they need, hit them with the right pass. And, I think that was the key to our success as well.
And I like to watch Jeremiah Rowland finish. He's got fabulous moves going into the basket and laying it in the bucket.
Oh, and he's so athletic and just sneaky fast. He plays a huge role for us. Once again, just a defensive stopper. And that little guard they had, they were battling it out. And Jay got him a couple of times, and he responded pretty well. And I was really proud of him. He just stuck with it and was just able to change the game and change how they do some stuff just by his defensive presence.
This is one of those teams, if your team hadn't been ready to play, this could have been a big upset. They had to play well to win tonight.
For sure, and we kind of re-amped up some stuff in practice. I think we kind of got, not lackadaisical, but almost content. Like after that Rockwall game, I felt like we just kind of wallowed out. And you could tell this weekend because we didn't play at that high level consistently. So I really challenged them the last 2 days of practice. Probably our 2 hardest days of practice probably our hardest day of practice was Monday in the period in here, and they just responded. And we got to know that that's what it takes in order to try to compete for a state championship and a district championship and an area championship, all of above. So we just got to do that consistently.
Now, next up is a Forney tournament, and I'm not sure who is coaching at McKinney Boyd. It might be an old boss of yours.
Yeah, I there's a rumor it's Josie, so no, we're excited to play them.
Is Jeremiah Josie or
Jeremy Josie?
Jeremy Josie,
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there. We talk all the time. After some games, after some games, I'll call him Ben. After some games, he'll call him Ben. He'll probably call me again tonight. Very, very good-minded guy. I told him he's already beat me once. He beat me 3 years ago. So I said, this is my rematch. So hopefully, I know I'll be amped up for that one. Hopefully our guys are, but it'll be two hard teams. His team plays really hard. They're well coached, obviously. They can shoot the ball really well, so we'll have our hands full. And then we play North Mesquite, who's kind of the opposite. They don't shoot it near as well, but they are very athletic and get up and down the floor. So it'll be a tale of 2 teams there.
I'm sure there's always, it seems like you always seek out some tournaments with some tough teams. I'm sure it's a good field.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yes. Wiley's in it. They're top in 6A. Colony's in it. They're top in 5A. So we'll definitely have our hands full with this tournament.
All right.
No easy games for Sulphur Springs.
This was a keeper tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the community just coming out. It's a fun atmosphere, and people talk about it. When you go to Sulphur Springs, the community is going to come, and it's going to be energetic. There's just something about the atmosphere of those games. It's just almost electric, and our kids really feed off of it. So keep coming. So.
The Lady Cats basketball team improved their season record to 8-1 with a 64-43 win at New Boston on Tuesday evening. And I talked with Lady Cats coach Brittany Tisdale.
We came out kind of slow at first, maybe New Boston came out kind of fast on us, but it was a good game. We came out, we went to halftime, we talked about some things, Defensively, we're getting beat on a couple of things, and we fix that. And then offensively, being patient, because New Boston runs zone. So 1-2-2, 2-3, 1-3-1, they're a zone team. And so we talked about the importance of being patient against the zone and moving the ball. In the second half, we came out and we seemed like we're calmer, more ready to go, being, more confident with the ball. So the second half was a lot better for us coming out.
Who scored points for you last night?
Autumn Tanton had a career high of 36 points.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
So, big time for her.
Okay, so anybody else score for you?
Everybody else was kind of balanced. I think Sadavia had 12, which is a little lower than normal for her, but still up there. But, Autumn was our standout. Everybody else kind of scored, in the 5-6 range, but Sadavia had 12 and Autumn had 36.
So after the initial, the defense got a lot better for you, I guess, after the first quarter?
Yes, it did. After we got to meet with them, talk about some things, this is what we're seeing, this is what's happening, they had a minute to think and put that in. We did a lot better in the second half.
All right. So far, so good. It's been a good start to the season, hasn't it, for these girls?
It has. We took a tough loss to Longview, but still, for the most part, we fought through a lot of games and ended up pulling out the win and fighting through it. And we've come from games where we were down and we managed to get back up. So, so far, it's been pretty successful.
All right. Now you've got the Edgewood tournament coming up, and so you'll be playing a lot of games in 3 days.
Yes, we'll play a lot. Got 2 Thursday, 2 Friday, and then we'll see about Saturday. Depends on pool play. Mm-hmm. But in our pool we have 4 games out of pool play.
Oh, okay. And you have 2 of them, I guess, on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to be playing now?
We have Wills Point first at 8 a.m. on Thursday. And then our pool, we also have Kaufman, Edgewood, and Gilmer in our pool.
The Saltillo Lions basketball team got a solid win over Chess, 69-31 on Tuesday. The Lions got off to a very good start, outscoring Chess in the first quarter 26-4. The Lions also led at the half 43-15 and after 3 quarters 54-28. Chris Bocourse led the Lions with 24 points. Matthew Gurley added 17. Andrew Redburn had 8 points. Stephen Mariquin scored 6 points, and Eddie Oleo, Ben Moore, and Levi Hoover all had 4 points. The Lions improved their season record to 6-4. The Lions begin play in the 3-day North Hopkins tournament Thursday at 1:35 p.m. against Yantis. And the Saltillo Lady Lions basketball team evened their season record at 8-8 with a lopsided 74-18 win over Chess on Tuesday. The Lady Lions led only 11-8 after the first quarter, but then limited Chess to only 10 points over the last 3 quarters. Jocelyn Ochoa had a big game for the Lady Lions with 29 points. Anna Reeder scored 18 points. Chandler Bain and Maddie Smith had 10 points apiece. Lorena Castro scored 3 points. Christy Marquez and Paisley Kastner had 2 points each. By the way, the Lady Lions JV also topped Chess 24-11 to stay unbeaten this season with a perfect 5-0 record. The Lady Lions will play Union Grove Friday at Saltillo.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Tell me what you got going on.
So today is the Economic Outlook Conference, and Mr. Richard Froschel is coming in to talk about the economic outlook for 2019.
What do you hope these people take out of here besides a full belly?
So they will leave with a full belly, hopefully, and be happy, but we are here to just kind of spend an hour talking about, from a workforce perspective, about jobs that we're targeting in 2019, the economic outlook specific to Hopkins County and East Texas for 2019, and even Texas-wide, kind of what we could expect and look at that we kind of see coming down the pipe a little bit.
What are you hoping to hear?
Good things. I know that we are having one of the lowest unemployment rates of all time, and so I'm curious to see what he's going to say about that as far as how that relates to Hopkins County. I know last year he said pretty much anybody that wants to work is working, so we'll see if that changed from last year at all.
Got anything fun coming up?
So we are getting ready for Christmas. We're getting our directory ready to come out for 2019. And so we are busy bees at the chamber, and we're ready for 2019.
Time for those nominations, I suppose.
Just about time for nominations. In the next couple of weeks, we'll start calling for those.
I'll come see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, that's good.